Hi, marriage is a bad deal for men about 80% of the time. Why? Because they get stuck with child support, giving up half their property, etc. But today I'm going to talk about Bobo, who was one of my girlfriends years ago. And for her, marriage was a disaster, but it was also very predictable what was going to happen. So let me tell you about Bobo. She was a very good looking girl with an amazing figure, charming, a bit crazy, but I went for the crazy in the old days. All right, now here's what happened. I was at some kind of a Renaissance festival, and she was playing the guitar and singing, very nice. And I got to chit chatting with her, and we had a drink together, and one thing led to another. And a couple of weeks later, she moved in with me. Nice girl moved in with me. And in the past, nice girls who moved in with me, or even not so nice girls, I paid all the bills. And, life went on for a while until they got tired of me or I got tired of them, and we moved on. Every once in a while, a girl would start talking about marriage, and that was my signal to move on. Well, let's talk about Bobo now. Bobo, when she moved in with me, said, "Look, you're not going to pay for the food anymore. You're supplying the nice house, and I don't pay any rent, but I'm going to keep the refrigerator full, and I'm responsible for all the meals and food around here." Well, I thought that was very nice. And then some time went by, and I learned that Bobo, who was very young, she was maybe 22 at the time, she had been picked up at a festival. I don't know if it was the Woodstock Festival, but at some kind of a music festival where she was not a big star. She was just like one of those second or third acts. Okay, so guess who picked her up? A bird colonel in the U.S. Army who happened to be stationed in Berlin with NATO, but he was in the U.S. and he liked this girl so much that he invited her right away to come to Europe with him. And she did. And not too long went by and they were married. So she was married to a bird colonel for not very long, maybe 6 months. They got along very well. She liked him, he liked her, even though he was about 25 years older. Okay. Well, he was accompanying some very important diplomat in a helicopter. This must have been in the 60s. And the helicopter went down, it crashed in Germany. And he was killed, and the diplomat was killed, and it got a lot of publicity at the time. And the girl, well, she was not so happy about it, but guess what? It turned out she was entitled to a huge widow's pension. Right. In today's money, the huge pension was over $100,000 a year, about $120,000 a year. That's $10,000 a month. She also got free medical for the rest of her life. She could get on a military plane from anywhere to anywhere and ride free. And of course, obviously, most widows of generals and high-ranking military officers are old, but she was early 20s. Okay, so after she moved in with me, I learned about this huge allowance, and that was why she was so eager to pay her part of the expenses of living together with me. Okay, so we got to talking, and she said she wanted to become a mother. And I think I did a little research, and it turned out that as long as she wasn't married, even if she had kids, she kept that pension. But, sometimes women can be very irrational. She said, "I'm not going to have any kids unless we're married." I said, "Wait a second. You're going to give up the pension the free medical. You're going to give up all these bennies just for a piece of paper that says we're married? She says, sure, I want to have kids and not illegitimate kids. I said, hey, in every state in the USA where we were living at the time, there's no such thing as an illegitimate kid. Every kid born to every woman is normal, whether she puts the father's name on the birth certificate or not. But she went on and on about getting married, and as I said, that was usually the signal for me to break up. So I broke up with her, and we were still friendly. There was no animosity. Yes, animosity there. And so I learned that she later in California got another boyfriend, and she went through the same rigmarole with him. She wanted to be married and have kids, and guess what? They got married and have kids, and she lost the pension. Well, a few years later, I met her, and she'd also lost the boyfriend and father of her two kids. He went off somewhere, who knows where. Old days they used to say he took the next train out of town to escape his support and alimony. Well, they weren't divorced yet, but he had left her, and now she was alone and in poverty. And if you're an amateur guitar player, you're not making 100,000 a year anymore. Maybe, maybe not even enough to buy groceries. So she was on welfare. She didn't look too good, and of course, I didn't say, "Hey, I told you so." But this story illustrates one of the very rare times where a marriage caused a woman to lose, lifetime support of a very generous amount. And it's a warning that marriages are not these days a permanent lifetime thing. There's only one country in the whole world where marriage is illegal, pardon me, where divorce is illegal, and that's the Philippines. And even there, oh, I forgot, the Vatican. But not too many priests and nuns with vows of celibacy are married with each other. Okay, well, anyway, to make a long story short and to finish this video, even in the Philippines, I'd say at least 50% of marriages end up with the wife and the husband having a new boyfriend or girlfriend or mistress or whatever a boy is called, the equivalent. And so I want to warn you, women, especially you rich women out there, marriage is not permanent. It's just a piece of paper. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about men and marriage and what happens, which is much more usual. So rich women, beware. Don't get married if you're going to lose your support from somewhere else.